Well, good afternoon. Captain Patrick Worley here. I wanted to do kind of a quick three-part inflation series on how inflation is dramatically affecting charter yacht businesses pretty much worldwide. So this first installment, I'd like to talk a little bit about inflation, the vessel. A couple things to remember. Number one, boats are made out of oil. And of course, I've said this before, oil is basically fiberglass is made out of oil, so oil and fiberglass kind of interchangeable. So we expect boats to go up, the prices of vessels to go up dramatically. In other words, never mind the fact that they're having problems getting engine parts. I spoke with somebody the other day that buys a lot of Yanmars, and of course they can't get Yanmar diesels right now because Yanmar diesel cannot get the chips it needs, a la Ford Motor Company, General Motors, and so forth. So we're not only having supply chain issues, which are causing the prices to go up, we're not only having labor issues that are causing the price to go up. Listen, labor, that inflation labor connection is pretty much worldwide. There's fewer skilled workers, and building your brand new catamaran requires a lot of skilled workers. So again, you have creation issues in terms of supply chain problems. You have creation issues in terms of the cost of labor. And then worst of all, or as bad, you have enormous inflation issues in the material, the fiberglass, the rosin that it's going to take to build your vessel. You need to think about that. I've had a number of people that have called recently, which is why I'm doing this video series. Easier for me, easier for you. You can sit there and watch this in your pajamas at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of me making a phone call during office hours, but be that as it may, he said, I'm going to wait a couple years and wait for prices to calm down or wait for prices to come back down. My friends, inflation, remember this first installment, inflation vessel, I don't think that's going to happen. And none of the manufacturers I've spoken to think that's going to happen. None of the professional yacht brokers and company brokerages think that's going to happen. We think they're going to go the other way and fast. Another component, by the way, of the inflationary spiral for higher yacht prices, remember we're talking inflation, is interest rates. Remember, and let's back up a little bit here, because how are they related, Patrick? Well, thank you for asking. Obviously, inflation is very, very high right now. So our friends at the Fed, the friends that you don't have, of course, are going to be raising interest rates in order to tame inflation. So even though the inflation is not having a direct effect on your vessel cost, it does sort of, because many manufacturers are having to floor plan or finance the vessel. I mean, a lot of companies can't produce 10 large catamarans at $1 million or $1.5 million each. They don't have the capital. They have to go borrow the money. Well, of course, their borrowing costs have already gone up, and we believe are going to go up even more dramatically in the future, certainly at the time of the making of this video. So once again, even though interest cost is not really an inflationary issue, it is an inflationary issue because your manufacturer is going to pass that cost on to you. So again, let's review. The reason that you might want to think about ordering a vessel now instead of in the near future or 2 or 3 years when you retire is because the cost of the vessel is going to go up dramatically. Another evidence of that, we've been doing this a long time, so we have a lot of places that we can look and we can say to ourselves, oh, this looks a lot like what happened 5 years ago, or this looks a lot like what happened 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, or in my case, 35 years ago. Yes, I am that old. So in looking to situations like this that we've seen before, a danger signal for me and clients that I'm working with to build and operate charter yacht businesses correctly is, what is the price of used vessels right now? Well, of course, sky high. In fact, we ran into a gentleman the other day that his used boat price was actually a bit higher than a brand new vessel would have cost him. that he would be taking delivery on later this year. And remember too, and I'm sure you're thinking about this, I hope you are, that often if your time frame for needing the vessel or wanting to be able to use her more, maybe both of you are going to retire. I have a new client where the husband's just retired and the wife has 2 more years to go. Not a good situation, by the way. But that being the case, if you purchased a vessel and it went into a properly designed, properly operated charter business, either crude or variable or GI, guaranteed income, certainly my preference. I like to have that check on the 1st of every month when my bill from my mortgage company arrives. But that would give you a number of things that you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. For instance, you have a vessel that you already own. You're 2 years into debt servicing, the mortgage. Hopefully you've been paying a little extra on that every month. And you have it at a fixed price. You're not paying at whatever prices may or may be higher in 2 or 3 years. You've had some income. You've had the use of the vessel. I have a gentleman that's a new client of ours that was very excited when I was able to explain this to him. And he'll be in Croatia here pretty quick and the Abacos because he now has a vessel in charter. So his time frame is working. His price is working. I believe his interest rates are dramatically lower than he was going to pay 2 or 3 years in the future. So in other words, everything is working for him better now, and he's spending more time with his family. He's building some equity in the vessel. All these good things are happening because he had good advice. So again, please call us if you have a question. Call us if you're not exactly sure how the inflationary spiral kind of works maybe in the purchase of your yacht. And watch my next video. We'll finish this up, the conversations about inflation, certainly in charter costs. And again, we're available to help you however we can. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Captain Patrick out. Thank you.